This is a message from the CDC. You can get COVID-19 while traveling. Don't travel while sick. Protect others. Wear a mask, maintain social distance about 6 feet apart, and wash your hands often. To learn more, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19.
You are listening to the Mayor's Report with Pauline Russo Cutter, Mayor of the City of San Leandro. As a way to keep you informed, Mayor Cutter will provide updates and activities happening around town. And now, Mayor Cutter.
Thank you for listening to the Mayor's Report. This brief audio digest of city updates and activities is another way for me to communicate to the nearly 90,000 residents I have the privilege of representing on behalf of the city. In this episode of the Mayor's Report, you'll hear my socially distanced conversation with the city's Recreation and Human Services Director, Jeanette on her work with preventing the spread of COVID-19, addressing homelessness, the newly formed mobile crisis program called CAT, and an update on recreational activities. Prior to my conversation with Jeanette, I will take a moment to discuss a character trait that is universally accepted in our community, and that trait is kindness. Kindness is a mindset that I live by as I am faced with the numerous challenges of leading our mid-sized city. Kindness can be observed daily throughout our city. For example, I actively volunteer at a local food bank. At this place, I see firsthand the acts of kindness from people that donate the food and volunteer that sort the food and distribute it. Amelia Earhart, the famous American aviator and author, once said, "A single act of kindness throws out roots in all directions, and the roots spring up and make our new trees." Kindness is greater and more effective than the next material possession you're going to get, more important than the apps on our phone. Kindness is a dynamic action. Kindness brings communities together, regardless of cultural, political, or religious affiliations. Kindness breathes life into a community like a tree that provides oxygen to us all. Kindness matters. We are a city of kindness here, and we're here for each other. So now let's begin with my conversation with Jeanette Dong. Well, I'm joined today on the Mayor's Report with Jeanette Dong, who's our Director of Recreation and Human Services Department. Welcome, Jeanette.
Thank you, Mayor, for having me.
So, Jeanette, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, how long you've been with the city, what prompted you to work in the public sector, and, are you a Bay Area native?
I'm born and raised in Oakland, California, but spent considerable time on the East Coast in Massachusetts and New York City. But I have always worked in the Bay Area. I am a public sector person, and I worked and spent many years working for places like the Port of Oakland as their government affairs manager, as well as associate vice chancellor at Peralta Community Colleges and in philanthropy. But previously, before the job in San Leandro, and I've been here for 5 years now, I worked for Alameda County Supervisor Wilma Chan as her chief for 5 years. And so I have worked a lot in the healthcare arena. I was also appointed by 3 speakers to the Board of Registered Nursing, which disciplines and licenses nurses in the state of California. So I'm trying to bring a lot of the public policy experience and to help inform me of direct services for the real people that I'm trying to help. So I'm hoping that has served us well for the city of San Leandro.
So really what you're saying is that you were involved before with the policy part of this human services, and now you get to be directly involved in humans' lives because you're directly involved with our citizens. And for that, we thank you. So let's start with our first question. How has COVID-19 changed the daily operations of the Recreation and Human Services Department?
It's changed a lot. The public health order from the state and the county have pretty much ended many of the group gatherings and classes that the recreation side has traditionally offered, and has closed our Marina Community Center as well as our much-used senior center. So we have transitioned into an essential services operation. We continue in the human services side to provide Mercy Brown bags, groceries for seniors. We've expanded our own program, Food for San Leandro Families, which provides tons and tons of food, literally, to nonprofits that distribute grocery bags, produce, staple goods, and meat to their clients that are in need. We also have now changed our senior lunch to, instead of eating inside together at the senior center, we have a number of curbside pickups. And we are also distributing many things that are contributed to our city and our hospital via curbside pickup at our senior center. And we're also very fortunate to have a state-funded COVID-19 test site at the Marina Community Center. So we are constantly adding on essential programs. Our senior center now has a virtual website. We've done thousands of senior wellness calls to all of our seniors that have been part of our senior center, including the council and mayor have called the 70-plus category. And we continue to have group calls with our seniors to keep them active as possible during COVID-19.
Yes, I actually had my, 150 calls to make for seniors, and it was just so nice to be able to take a little bit of time and get to know each person just a little bit, but find out how they were doing, if there were needs that they had that weren't met. But really what I noticed is a lot of people were lonely because they use our senior center as a social gathering place too, and they're very much looking forward to getting back to normal. You mentioned the COVID-19 testing site. Since early June, the city has partnered with the County of Alameda to operate this COVID-19 testing site. Can you share with our listeners information about the site? Where is it located? How a resident can schedule an appointment to get tested?
Yes, of course, Mayor. Our test site is located at the Marina Community Center, and you can schedule a test two ways, either online or by phone. The phone number is 888-634-1123, or you can sign up online at lhi.care/COVID testing.
Okay, thank you. So as we get people getting tested, if they need to be tested, let's transition into talking a little bit about our homeless or unsheltered public. With that, like surrounding communities, our city is grappling with how to really effectively serve and house our homeless residents. You've been doing such a lot in that arena, and if you could share what your department is doing to assist them, it would be really helpful. Thank you.
Well, about 4 years ago, we formed what we call the San Leandro Homeless Compact, and thank you, Mayor, for actually helping us inspire the compact by forging a relationship originally between the city, Building Futures, and the Landlord Association of Southern Alameda County, where we had, Building Futures had certain types of housing vouchers, but because of the rental market, had great difficulty in finding spaces for homeless people to become housed. And the market was such that it was hard for anyone to find an apartment, let alone someone transitioning from being unsheltered. So the compact is a little bit complex in that we have an agreement among Building Futures, East Bay Innovations, the city, April Showers, and other organizations, nonprofits, to case manage confidentially a group of homeless people. And in San Leandro, our count is officially 344, but it ebbs and flows every day from week to week as people come into our city and leave our city and as they get housed. And what we do is we do concentrated outreach. The individuals that are unsheltered are case managed by Building Futures and East Bay Innovations. Now, they have case managers. They specialize in housing people. They specialize in mental health, physical health. We have an RN. We have case manager, mental health services outreach. We have access to the street health team, which we are now partnering with from Tiburcio Vasquez. So there's a number of people directly involved in working with our homeless population in San Leandro. In addition to that, all of our outreach people, and our outreach people from Building Futures, East Bay Innovations, and the City of San Leandro are homeless unit officers. They all have access to other teams of people that the county provides, such as crisis management, our CAT team, geriatric response team. There's a number of different teams that the county provides ancillary services and advice to all of our staff working with the unsheltered. And given that COVID is now happening, we have a whole plethora of services that we're providing to the unsheltered, including the state allowed for what we call Operation Safer Ground and Operation Comfort. Those are hotels that the state contracted with and works with the Alameda County to provide for unsheltered people who are at risk of COVID, which is Operation Safer Ground, or exhibiting symptoms, which would be Operation Comfort. Sometimes the Operation Safer Ground, those at risk, are full or we're waiting to be admitted. So we have a hotel in San Leandro where we stage ourselves, an effort that the city put together as we wait for those people to queue into Operation Safer Ground. And we have a nurse from East Bay Innovation that case manages them while they're in the hotel. So it's kind of a full round of all-around services for the unsheltered at the moment, and with COVID-19, which is a very scary situation.
Scary indeed. We have talked a little bit about people in mental crisis, and it's not new to us. But however, there's a new Alameda County-led program called the Community Assessment and Transport Team, or CAT. And it's aimed to address people in active crisis by dispatching a clinician and emergency medical technician to their location. The City Council and staff have been talking about this, it seems like forever, but it's been about 2 years, and the program has had a soft launch this summer. And I just wanted to personally thank you for helping to bring the program to our San Leandro residents. And can you share a little bit about the updates, because this is exciting news for San Leandro?
Oh, I'd be glad to. The CAT, which is called the Community Assessment and Transport Team, did a soft launch in July. And what I can tell you is that I have worked on CAT for 4 years to get it to a place of implementation countywide. It is a great program, as you said, run by the County Emergency Medical Services. And in the CAT van, it's an unmarked van, it has an emergency medical technician that is employed by our ambulance company, Falk, and a clinical person. And the CAT team responds to severe mental health crisis calls that are dispatched through our 911 system via the police and fire department. And their job is to respond to severe mental crisis, and the police are sometimes called to stabilize the situation and will leave when the clinicians arrive, and they can handle that situation without public safety presence, or they can remain on site if public safety is required to stabilize the ongoing situation. But it's really meant to help people in crisis that may not need police services the entire time.
And for San Leandro, as with the whole county, that's such an important area. So we're really pleased that we're finally able to start that.
I also do want to add that the CAT is here because of our data. And our data point is San Leandro is the third highest severe mental health crisis, which is called the 5150. You're unable to take care, not safe for yourself or to be around others. So we're third highest in 5150 transports, and we're third highest in 5150 repeat holds, and we're just behind Oakland and Hayward. So that data point is extremely concerning, and that is why we are one of the first cities to receive the CAT.
Well, that's very important to our city. I know it's something that our whole community is wanting to see, and really they're starting to pay more attention on what our community values are and how we're, adopting our budget to make sure that we're taking care of all of the residents we have in San Leandro. So one of the things, now that we've talked about those kinds of things, we've also want to say recreation. What's good in recreation? What's new? Got any news for us?
I'm happy to say we had a successful outdoor camp this past summer. Many of you are familiar with Chabot Day Camp. And the reason why we run 10s, 20, 30s, 30-something odd camps any regular summer, but this year because of COVID, we chose the only outdoor camp we have because that is much safer than being indoors with the pandemic. So I'm happy to say that Chabot Day Camp did very well. We didn't have any incidents. We had some pause for concern from moment to moment, but overall it went very well. And I can tell you today we launched 3 after-school programs at Chabot Park, Washington Manor, and Halcyon. They're small after-school programs, but it's the only thing we can do given all the rules and regulations around COVID and learning hubs. So we're glad to have that. And again, at the Senior Center, we continue to have our lunch program with mobile pickup. We do plan to do a mobile pickup of Thanksgiving, and we are preparing at the end of in November and December with the issuance of a new public health order. We're looking to restore 25% church religious services at both the Marina and Senior Center in November, December.
Yeah, I know many seniors look forward to the Thanksgiving luncheon that we serve, and to hear that it wasn't going to happen was a very big disappointment to them. But as we've trying to transition everything, we've done that with our lunch, and it's a pickup service, so that'll be very helpful. And it is a matter of just kind of the social is just as important as the food sometimes, and I think that you guys have solved the problem, so thank you. So with that, do you have any final thoughts, anything you want to conclude with? Just talking about maybe your staff and how some of our employees, the employees that we used to have, our part-timers, are now doing different things.
Oh, thank you for mentioning that, Mayor. I do want to thank my staff 1,000% because, as you mentioned, we shifted 100% to essential services given the state of emergency, and we continue to work extremely hard since the shelter-in-place order. And I want to thank my part-time staff for changing what they normally do, which is summer program recreation, into helping all of our seniors in the several food pantries in San Leandro, kind of taking over their operations, distribution and collection of food from stores and the Alameda County Food Bank. And I also can't thank enough the Alameda County Food Bank. So I do want to thank my staff for being nimble and working so hard to make sure that our community has food, wellness, and good health.
So recently I've been involved with the food bank, one of the food banks in San Leandro, and my job is to go in on a day after the food has been delivered and kind of sorted out, putting it in boxes, so then on the Thursday when they give the food away, to have it organized so people can pretty much do their own shopping. They go into a room and all of these items are on display, and then they can pick what they need. And it is so helpful to have that crux because so many of the volunteers were elderly and they couldn't participate anymore, and so to have that influx of younger people who could actually do the pickups and continue on that program really made it helpful for the continuation of our programs. So I really can't thank our employees enough for that. I hope the updates I shared on this mayor's report provided insight to you on the various activities within the city. Remember, wash your hands, wear your mask, maintain social distancing, and please use your voices to vote. Until the next time, let us continue to make San Leandro a city where kindness matters to everyone, and we're happy to have you live, work, and enjoy San Leandro.
You've been listening to Mayor Pauline Russo Cutter provide the Mayor's Report. If you have a comment or question about the City of San Leandro, please write to citycomments@sanleandro.org or call us at 510-577-3372. To learn more about the City of San Leandro, please visit sanleandro.org.